Been a regular critic of far left-wing prosecutors and judges who have been making the problem worse with too much catch and release, a lack of will to prosecute, or too lenient sentences. But you have to give credit where it's due. San Francisco has actually made some real progress in fighting crime since getting rid of their uber-liberal district attorney. We'll hear from their current DA in just a minute. But for starters, car crime actually way down. From September to the end of November, the city logged nearly 3,400 reports of car break-ins. That's a 50% drop from the same time period last year. The number started dropping when the city actually started pouring smart resources into the problem. They used a combination of bait cars, plainclothes police officers, video surveillance, and the people the cops are arresting are actually being kept in jail.
Most importantly, I think we're arresting the right people, because here's what we found with car break-ins. There are people out there that are prolific. They do this for a living. They have victimized many, many people. And when those people are taken into custody and detained, kept in jail, we see decreases.
In fact, since the city launched its crackdown on these break-ins in August, almost all major crime is down. Total crime down 30%, homicides down 30%, larceny theft down more than 40%, burglary 10%. There seems to be a clear cause and effect here. Back in July of 2020, Mayor London Breed helped reallocate $120 million away from law enforcement and instead, quote, prioritizing investments in the African-American community around housing, mental health and wellness, workforce development, economic justice, education, advocacy, and accountability. That was in the wake of the George Floyd protests. But by the end of 2021, with crime skyrocketing on her watch, Breed seems to have seen some of the light.
And it's time that the reign of criminals who are destroying our city, it is time for it to come to an end. And it comes to an end when we take the steps to be more aggressive with law enforcement, more aggressive with the changes in our policies, and less tolerant of all the that has destroyed our city.
Wow. Well done. Then there was their former DA, Chesa Boudin, who was recalled in June of 2022 over his too progressive soft-on-crime policies. Now, look, I share the concerns of many. Crime, major problem in this country. But the difference is I want to see solutions rather than just fear-mongering. And San Francisco appears to be proving that progress can be made with the right changes. Joining me now is the San Francisco District Attorney, Brooke Jenkins. Welcome back to the show. Really appreciate it. So you had said to me in October that you were having a tough time keeping suspects behind bars. Has that improved?
That hasn't necessarily improved in drug dealing cases, but it has improved with respect to property crime. Certainly when we can demonstrate that someone is a prolific thief and somebody who's working with an organized sort of theft crew to commit these acts.
So what would you attribute some of the reduction in crime to?
Certainly, it is a larger police presence in areas where we know that certain types of crime is more prevalent. And my office stepping into the courtroom and saying certain people must be detained in order to protect public safety and ensuring that there are appropriate consequences for people who commit crime in San Francisco.
Now, we also have discussed retail crime, right? A lot of talk in San Francisco about smash and grabs, et cetera. How's that fight going?
Those numbers are actually trending downward as well. We've seen a significant decrease in retail theft. But again, it goes back to partnering with the police department as well as retailers to ensure that we are putting police where we know that they need to be to function as a deterrent, but also that when we receive those cases, that we are being thoughtful when we walk into court to say, certain people, yes, we can allow back out, but others must stay in for public safety reasons. And so when you keep certain people in that are prolific thieves, you see those numbers drop instantaneously.
So it sounds like what you're saying is the police are being allowed to do their jobs. They're getting more resources that they need. And with you at the helm, you're getting tougher in the courtrooms in demanding that certain people, as you point out, the ones that really need to be detained, the ones that need to be off the streets, you're trying harder to keep them off.
Yes, and I often say, go figure that when you actually enforce laws and have consequences for crime, that you do see numbers trend downward. And we needed that in San Francisco.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.